Hey guys, what's going on? Britain's Productions here, back again for another video. And guys, first I'd like to apologize for our absence. I've been really busy with school, a lot of projects, that kind of stuff. We're kind of going into, our later years of high school, so we don't have as much time for the channel as we would like to, but we're going to try and fit that in as much as we can for you guys. Now today's video is going to be a tutorial. Now we haven't done one of these in a while. But this was suggested by the Lego Jedi, who asked us to do a tutorial on how to do Blender animations for stop motion. Now, Blender is a really cool program. It's free to download, no pay, nothing like that. And you can download it. There'll be a link to the download link in the description down below and also on the pinned comment. But yeah, it's a really cool program. Now, let's just get something straight here. You need a laptop or a computer, and if you're using a laptop, it's going to be a good one. Now, it has to have I'm not a big computer specs guy, but it has to be an Intel Core i5. That's the one I use, and I'm able to do some pretty good renders. Nothing too crazy, but I can do some really cool stuff. And you don't really need to have something crazy for this, because it's not really really complicated. Also, another thing you'll need is a mouse to move around. Otherwise, you won't be able to move around in the scene and get a full view of what you're animating at all. So first, we're going to download Blender. You can just get it from the website, and there'll be a link in the description down below. So once you download that, you can just do the whole file thing, whatever. Just set it up, all that kind of stuff. Alright, so once you have done that, we will go to mechabricks.com. Once again, there'll be a link to this in the description and a pinned comment down below. Now, Mechabricks, for you guys who don't know, is a really cool website where you can download all these models, figures, all that kind of stuff. Now, it's made by the community, and they just recreate some sets, official LEGO sets, and also make some mocks, and it's really cool stuff. So, yeah. Now, you have to make an account. It's completely free. I've already got an account, but yeah, so it's just sign up. It's really simple, and it is actually important to what we have to do on this website. If you don't have an account, you probably won't be able. You won't be able to download the thing. So once you have made an account, we will go to search, and let's just search up a gunship. You don't have to do a gunship, but if you want to follow along with the tutorial, you can do that. Alright, so it's just loading. My internet's a little bit slow, so sorry about that. Alright, so there's a lot of cool stuff. There's some mocks and, there's actual official sets here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to go to this one. Now, you could go as any of these. You have to get rid of the figures and stuff like that if you don't want them. But I'll explain in a bit why you probably want to do one of these kind of smaller models. So we'll click on this, and we can go to editor, and it's going to load files first. So we'll let it do that. And if it's a small file or a small model, it will load quicker. It won't take that long. So it's a really cool looking model, very cool. And we can go to editor, and you have to double click sometimes because it doesn't load for some reason. Alright, so it's loading now. Now we're in the workshop. Now loading assets is only a few 600 kilobytes, something like that, because it's a small file. Now it's a really cool program. You can find so many cool torsos, stuff like that, but that's for another video. Alright, so once you got your model, we can go to File and Export. Now we have the option to do a collider.daa, Blender add-on, wavefront, or an STL. STL, you can actually 3D print it, but we're going to go with a wavefront OBJ. And you have the option to do a logo and studs. We're not going to do that because we don't really need to, but if you want to, you can. Alright, so then we're going to click export. Now the screen will kind of be in this gray frozen mode for a second, depending on the file size. Now you can see it's just downloaded as a zip file. So yeah, it sometimes, depending on the file size, it can sometimes become your screen, your browser, whatever, can freeze and not respond, whatever. It just depends on the file size. So if it's a big one, it will just freeze. You won't be able to do anything. You're just gonna have to let it do its thing. But what we're gonna do is go to the file and get the model out, get both files in there, get it out and put it into a document where it's like a Republic gunship, somewhere like that. Just somewhere safe you'll be able to access it. So let's just do that. Alright, so once we got the files into just a different folder or somewhere you can access it, we can go into Blender and open up a new scene, whatever. So what we can do is delete the cube because we won't be needing it whatsoever. Now we just have the camera, whatever, we have lights, and I'll explain this in a bit, but what we can do is go to File, Import, Wavefront OBJ. Now if we kept it in a zip file, you wouldn't be able to find it. It wouldn't be accessible. You can't find it from the Blender import. You have to put it into its own document or somewhere you can access it pretty easy. Now, if we selected one of these other ones, you wouldn't be able to find the file because it wasn't a Wavefront OBJ. So you have to select the specific thing that it is. The file type is, you have to select one of these. Whatever file type is, you probably have to select it. So we'll just do the Wavefront OBJ and we'll find it. Alright, so once we found the OBJ file, we'll bring it in. It'll do this kind of 616 thing. Now, okay, so we've loaded in the model, and as you can see, all these parts are in there. Now, the bigger the file, the bigger the set, whatever, the more parts there will be. So what we're gonna do first, we're gonna right click, just lob off to here. Okay, so kind of go here and then right click, join. So now it is one giant piece, so you don't have to worry about all these different parts now. It is one piece. Alright, so we got our model. Now it's a big model compared to the lights and camera. So what we can do is shrink it down, move around with this, move up, move down. So alright, so this is what it will look like in camera. Now this is what the final shot will look like, and what we can do is change the background. So if you wanted to make it just a black and space, whatever, we can go to this and bring it down to a black. We can make the light a sun, and that's a little bright, so let's just bring it down to 1, something like that. That looks pretty good in my opinion. And then what we can do is go to shading, and we can go to, instead of object, we can go to world. Alright, so what we're going to do is go to noise texture. Alright, just loading. Oops, oopsie daisy. Alright, color ramp. Actually, we're going to put this noise texture in between the color. Right, so that looks much better. And right, so I got it mixed up, sorry guys. We put the color ramp before this, but as you can see, it looks like stars now. So we got the stars look, and yeah, so we go back to layout, and this is the shot we'll see. Now if you want, we can have motion blur in our shot, and it can look pretty cool. You can change the settings, whatever, just make it really cool, whatever you want it to be. But we're going to go to this part, then we're going to move back. Gotta bring this up a little bit. Sorry if you hear like a buzzing noise in the background, that's like a helicopter. So we're going to bring it back here and press I, and select location. Now this is keyframe, very important. Just have this at the start. Alright, and then we're going to move down the timeline, whatever, and then bring this down forward. Location. Now, if you want to see a less laggy view, so that's how fast it's going to go. We can also bring down the end so it can end when we want it to end. 24. 20. So that's how fast it's going to go. And if we want, we can have the camera track this as we go along, so we can press. Well, actually, we can exit the camera, and we can select the rotation, rotate it a little bit, and go on the camera just to see if you like it. Okay, press rotation, move it forward, and kind of follow the camera. I think that looks pretty good. Rotation, and let's see if it follows it. It's kind of good. A little too fast though. Looks pretty good. You can do some pretty cool stuff. We can also add like depth of field maybe. That's in camera settings. Cameras are really cool stuff. You can just select on the object, part 3, and you know. So if we want, we can have a sun in the background. So we just go to mesh, UV sphere, shade smooth, or planet, something like that. I don't know, that'd be kind of cool. That's looking pretty cool. Yeah, just have like, add like a green color. Maybe we could go. Okay, maybe not environment. Let's just do a gradient, something like that. I don't know. Or maybe let's just go wave texture. Let's just do sky. Sky looks best. Yeah, looks kind of cool. All right, let's just do RBG, whatever. Looks kind of cool. And we can bring down like the glossiness, whatever. Make it really rough looking. Alright, so now what we're going to do, actually. Okay, that's how it glows. Alright, no need for that. So, yeah, as the animation goes along, we'll see the planet. Maybe we can add a star as well. Now this is pretty cool. Smooth down the size, you know, shade it smooth, whatever you want to do. And we can go to new, and this part, and we can change it from principal to emission. Now what you're going to do is, if you don't have it on already, turn on bloom, and bring up the strength, and we can make it like more like a kind of yellowy, orangey, something like that. Go to shading, and you know, press color ramp. Actually, go back to object, color ramp. Change the color. The outside to be. That's a pretty good color. I like that. That's good. Maybe we can break it. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's a good color. All right. So we got the color now. We got the sun, and so that's what the final shot will look like, minus the motion blur. It doesn't render in the motion blur, any that kind of stuff. Actually, if you don't want it to look like it's starting as soon as this movement starts, for the gun chip, we're gonna go part 3 and move this back. Oops. Move it back a little bit, so it's already started its trajectory and its movement when we see it. Alright, so this is the cool part. We go down to here in this section, and you can change the frame rate, all that kind of stuff. So we're going to just keep on 24 frames per second. That's the normal one. Now it's going to render out as a PNG, and it's going to be in TMP. Now we don't want that. So if you want it to be a raw AVI, it's going to be a big file depending on how much there is in this shot. So let's just do an AVI JPEG, and we can change this to somewhere else. Let's just say, I don't know, just pick wherever you want. Alright, so we've got it where we want it to be, and now what we're going to do is go to render animation. Alright, we can see now that the render has finished. Now I did make a little mistake, and this is always something you should do. This planet here was accidentally too close to the gunship, and the gunship would have flew through, clipped through the thing, but other than that, looks really cool. So that's a quick little tutorial on how to do Lego Star Wars animations, or just any kind of Lego animation in Blender. Hope you enjoyed it, guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.